let's start off college football playoffs. These guys in the college football playoff, they dropped the rankings. I don't know if you saw the rankings or not by now, Nick. I would presume you have if you're doing your work.
I
Uh,
peeped it.
Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4, um,
Top four remain.
Texas Tech 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon, the most overhyped, overrated team in the country, 7. Number 8, Oklahoma, despite losing by 17 to Texas, they're somehow ranked number 8. Then you got Notre Dame, Alabama, BYU, Utah, and then the Miami Hurricanes are at number 13. The committee chairman got on camera and said that basically Miami is not even being considered right now in a head-to-head situation with Notre Dame because they're not being judged in the same pool of teams.
Because they didn't beat them. Oh, they did beat Notre Dame. Shit. My bad. Sorry. Jump the
So
gun on that one.
how in the world, like they apparently rank these teams in pools and groups. So they decided before anything. They decided before anything, and this all goes back to what I said from the beginning. They use the AP poll to be their freaking baseline of rankings. They don't know anything. They don't watch football at a level that they need to be making these types of decisions. And then they say outlandish crap like they did last week when they talked about the Miami Hurricanes offense being completely inconsistent while having 3 offenses of the top 12 worse than theirs. Alabama, Oklahoma, and who was the third one? Texas at the time. Texas is no longer there because they lost. Oklahoma, Alabama played a 23-21 game. Oklahoma wins a game where they got 200 yards of offense because Alabama kept turning the ball over. And Alabama's not very good. They scored 21 points.
Well, they could
And
be.
here,
They
we
can
got.
be. Their offense could be. I'm sorry, Rudy. Their offense could be bad when you're in the SEC because their competition is better than yours, and that's what the committee's going by.
Well, then at the same time, they ranked Notre Dame ahead of Alabama, which is actually makes no sense on either as well because, well, again, we're going to ignore the fact that they lost to Florida State. Yeah. I don't know how that completely gets as if it never ever happened. Don't you?
And,
It's like it never happened. It
and you
happened
saw
5
Will.
years ago. They
You
have
saw Will's.
forgotten that Alabama got mud stomped by an wait. The competition. Oh, an ACC team beat the brakes off them. But I thought all the competition was in the SEC. Oh, I'm sorry. You play the Little Sisters of the Poor in almost all of your non-conference games. You thought FSU was one of those Little Sisters of the Poor, and you got the door beat off you. But they forgot that actually happened. I mean, hey, if we're comparing losses, whereas we do with Miami and Notre Dame, why aren't we comparing these losses of Miami losing to 7-3 Louisville, who was ranked as of a week ago, 6-3 or 7-3 SMU? But no, we didn't lose to Florida State. We actually were kicking the crap out of Florida State for 3 quarters before turning it off, and Alabama got beat up there. So I think your loss
You
is
know,
worse than our loss.
you remember you remember Men in Black, and they Will Smith put the little device in front of your face and it forget your memory right there. So that's basically what they're doing for the Florida State because Florida State was an egregious loss. But I guess what you can come back and say is you lose early, you're forgiven, no matter how bad Florida State's been. But then you also could say that you went barely scraped by Florida State if you didn't watch the game.
That's what
Well,
happened. But it
but
doesn't
I
matter.
was up.
But they beat them, and Alabama lost to them.
Yeah.
And that was
Don't matter.
Miami beat them when they were the number 1 offense in America. They kept reminding us they're the number 1 offense in America. And they couldn't do it. They had 3 points through 3 quarters.
So that's the thing about the polls, man. You can't use it and say, hey, at that point, this team is ranked this, and then you play another team and you say, hey, USF is ranked. You say Florida State is ranked when they play. You say Notre Dame is a top 10 team when they play, and then later on they still are. And then later on, you try to use it against them and say, hey, Florida State is really a 5-5 team. USF lost to Tulane or whoever else they lost to in their conference play, and you bring that back against UM. But at the end of the day, Rudy, I don't give a flying fuck, Rudy. I really don't. The whole thing about the playoffs was to get the top 4 teams. Make sure the top 4 teams was right. And now we're worrying about the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th team. You should have won your games, Rudy. You had 8 out of your 10 games are at home. 8 out of your 10. And matter of fact, 9 out of your 10 games, you are in the state of fucking Florida, Rudy.
So
win your games. Win your games. Win your games.
Now that matters.
And you wouldn't be in this predicament.
Florida.
What does
being in the state of Florida mean? What does that mean?
You play. That was basically a home game. You haven't left Florida one time. One time you left Florida.
You want me to tell you what Notre Dame's schedule is? And I've been actually defending their schedule, but then I looked.
They had USC. Again. That's the only thing.
No. You want to know what their schedule is? This is their schedule. Just to give you a little bit of background on their schedule, because people are ignoring that, because apparently their schedule. And again, I've defended their schedule. You can't plan for a team to be terrible.
No, you can't.
But their schedule this year. Where did it go? Shit. Their schedule this year.
Go ahead.
Where
do you draw the line though for like the 11th, the 12th, the 13th?
Their non-conference schedule is Purdue. Purdue right now is 2-9. Their non-conference schedule is Texas A&M. They lost at home
by 1.
Yes, by 1, and they choked it away. And we at the time we didn't know that Texas A&M was going to be any good. Like we had no idea. And hell, Texas A&M last week damn near lost to South Carolina. It was 3-7, and it needed Lenora Sellers to become Lenora Sellers again, a completely retarded IQ football quarterback. He's got no IQ in football. Huh?
They need a police officer to come in and shake the game up.
Oh, and their other non-conference schedule was an ACC game. Miami, you lost. Arkansas. They're literally trying to create an argument that Arkansas is the best two-win team in America. The best two-win team in America.
They are the best two-win team in America.
You want to know who their wins are against? You know who Arkansas's wins are against? You want to know?
Look at their losses,
Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. They lost to Ole Miss. They lost to Memphis. They lost to Notre Dame by 43. How can you be how can you be the best two-win? They lost by 43.
They got some close losses.
Somehow they got all these close losses within the SEC. So I guess the SEC isn't as strong as they claim to be. They lost to Ole Miss by 6, Tennessee by 3, Texas A&M by 3. Texas A&M gave this team up 42 points. Notre Dame beat them by 43. Beat them by 43. Auburn they lost to. Auburn sucks. They just fired their coach. Mississippi State sucks. They're 5-6, 1-6 in conference. They lost by 3. They lost to LSU 23-22. LSU is 6-4 and 3-4 in conference.
And fired their coach.
Yes, you lost teams that have fired their coaches. Do not come up with a narrative that tell me that Arkansas is the best two-win team in America. They
best
suck.
Two-win team. Best two-win team in America.
All right, so they suck. Boise State non-conference. This is a mediocre Boise team. They're 6-4.
But Boise State started off ranked. That's if you're going to go by that.
Well, they weren't ranked when Notre Dame played them. they weren't ranked when Notre Dame. Actually, they were not. Notre Dame was number 21 when they played them. And then you got USC. That was their NC State. They beat 36-7. That was a solid win. I think NC State's a solid team. They're just 5-5, but they're solid because we know they have a top 25 offense. They just can't stop anybody. USC, they got that win. And mind you, they squeezed out that win because Carr was not very good. They needed Jeremiah Love to go crazy. Boston College. Boston College is 1-10.
The best 1-10 team in the
best
country.
Team in America. So their best non-conference win, if you want to be real, is against USC, obviously, and then Navy. They beat Navy. Navy's their biggest win. Navy. Is this what we're doing now? Navy's 8-2. Great. They beat Pitt. Again, so they play Miami, NC State, Boston College, Pitt, and they still got Syracuse and Stanford. They got 6 ACC games on their schedule.
Notre Dame is at ACC.
Syracuse is 3-7. Stanford is 3-7. This is their non-conference schedule. And they lost to the 2 toughest teams on their non-conference schedule.
And Stanford beat Stanford beat Florida State, who beat Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. So Notre Dame's schedule is fucking dog shit. It's dog shit. It's awful. And yet they're ranked 4 slots ahead of Miami because their losses are considered better losses than ours, but we beat you. And now the committee chairman is sitting here saying, well, when they grade, as Miami gets closer, then they'll be in the conversation, and then it'll be significant, and a premium is put on it. A premium should be on it right now. We should be again. This goes back to the AP rankings. They use the AP as their baseline, and people who want to believe differently are delusional. If Miami was ranked 7th right now in the AP, they would be ranked 7th in the college football playoff. They would be ranked there. Why is Bama the exact same number in the CFP as they are in the AP? Why? Why are most of these teams almost the exact same spot? The top 4 are the exact same order. Hell, the top 6 are the exact same. Let's see here.
I mean,
this is why the whole ranking is bullshit. Okay, so the only one they got yeah. Here we go. The AP is they have Texas Tech at 5, and Ole Miss is at 6, and Oregon's at 7. That's the only really the only difference. Then you have Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, BYU, and then they have Vanderbilt instead of Utah. Vanderbilt's irrelevant. How is Utah in this conversation? They got mud stomped on at home by Texas Tech. They got the same record as Miami. They don't have a non-conference schedule. When did Utah become this world beater? They're not beater. They're not even going to make their freaking conference championship game. But our best win is 1,000 times their best win. It'll all work itself out, in my opinion. You win out, and you win spectacularly, like you're supposed to. I'm not worried about it because BYU is either gonna lose to Texas Tech, or they're going to lose this Saturday to Cincinnati, and then Utah's going to lose to Texas Tech, potentially in a conference championship game. So both those teams will be gone. The question now becomes, does Miami get up to number 10? And here's a game that people need to pay attention to. Oregon still has a couple of games on their schedule that are dangerous. They still have to play USC and at Washington. USC is obviously 8-2, and Washington is 7-3. That Washington-Oregon game is obviously a rivalry, and it's at Washington. They lose either of those games, they're out of the conversation. They're done. They're gone because their schedule is embarrassing. It's Cupcake City. So every time people want to say, "Oh, Miami's schedule is shit" or the ACC is shit, I think that's so old and tired. I think the media's done such a good job at manipulating people. I'm not sitting here saying that the ACC is a better conference than the SEC. I'm not saying that at all. They're not.
But it's not that far off.
But this gap that they're making it seem like it's like a gap from here to here, bro. Georgia Tech lost to Georgia by 3 last year in overtime or double overtime.
Should have won.
Should have won that game. And they were 7-5. So Georgia barely got by Florida. Miami beat the hell out of Florida. Hell, did you see Ole Miss? They were losing to Florida in the 4th quarter this past weekend. Losing. Yeah. But DJ Lagway turns into a fucking, I don't know what, in the 4th quarter every game.
The worst $3 million spent.
So, like, all these comparisons of the SEC, like, you can miss me with it. And I mean, it was also brought up. Texas A&M's entire schedule is the bottom half of the SEC. Their whole schedule. This is their non-conference. UTSA, Utah State, Notre Dame. Then they played Auburn, won by 6. Auburn stinks. They beat Mississippi State. They beat Florida. They beat Arkansas. Give 42 points to Arkansas. They beat LSU, stinks. They beat Missouri, who's mid-tier. They escaped South Carolina. So you got Auburn, that's 4-6, and 1-6 in conference. They got Mississippi State, who's 1-6 in conference. Florida, who's 2-5 in conference. Arkansas, 0-6 in conference. LSU, 3-4 in conference. Missouri, 3-3 in conference. South Carolina, 1-7 in conference. Then they play Samford this weekend. They still got to go play Texas. They could very well lose that game at Texas. It won't affect them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it brings Texas back into the conversation with 3 losses.
Texas 3 losses. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it brings Texas back in the conversation with 3 losses. But let's be real about Texas A&M. Yeah, they won all their games. If Miami played a bunch of 1-6 fucking conference teams, I think Miami would be fucking undefeated right now. They'd be undefeated. They're not playing. They lost to 2 top quarter conference opponents.
yeah, they're a good team, solid team.
They're unacceptable losses because we're just better than them. But this is the schedule that Texas A&M played in their own conference. It's freaking terrible. And they played 3 teams that fired their coaches this year: Auburn, Florida, and LSU. They played 3 teams that fired their coaches.
So apparently, Rudy's a fan.
Look, I could have argued both ways last year, but we lost the last game of the season.
Yeah.
Even though they're not supposed to judge it based on that.
That's
what I can't make. You can't tell me your criteria and then change your criteria. Your criteria, that's why I'm telling you those AP rankings affect them. They're stupid. Because if you were at the game.
Yeah.
Does that Miami team beat SMU in fucking Louisville that we saw this past Saturday? Does that one, the one that we saw, where the offense all of a sudden looked like, oh my God, we actually decided to not just run the ball into the back of 5 dudes.
Dawson called up some plays. It was creative. Very creative.
He denied
it.
He denied it.
He denied what? Denied what? Being creative?
Says they were all the same plays they've run all year.
I never seen him throw the ball with Tony.
He says beyond the 2 trick plays and the 2 wildcat plays, which is literally over 5% of your offensive plays, he said everything else is the same shit we've run all year. We've run outside zone, whatever he called it, on the run. And this this time they popped. Yeah, because you had a guy who could runs a 4.7 in the 40, and a guy runs a 4.35 in the 40. You have a running back that actually has vision against a guy that's slower than hell and tough.
Took some shots down the field. Took some more shots.
They threw the ball deep. Remember a few weeks ago, he's telling you how the defense is dictating what they're doing. Well, no, we just threw the ball down the field.
And it was coverage. I mean, it wasn't like it was open. It wasn't. The DBs were still right there. The receivers went up and made a play.
He said, we made all the 50-50 plays. I said,
they did.
He says usually that's about a 40% completion area on 50-50 balls. And I said,
then why you call it 50-50?
Yeah, that's what makes it stupid. But on top of that, he also says, this is where I thought was completely ridiculous. It is, well, he said that, but I'm saying, well, so what you're saying is that you allowed playmakers to go make plays.
Yeah.
You allowed playmakers to make plays. So what you decided after that Louisville game was that you didn't trust Carson Beck to throw the ball and trust your playmakers to make plays.
Because it's not always
one or both.
Yeah, it's not always 50-50 when you have a playmaker. If I have a playmaker, sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 90-10. It just depends on who the guy is on the outside and you're trusting that guy. I mean, a lot. So just like Brown for the Eagles, AJ Brown.
Yeah,
he doesn't get open. He's just not throwing him the ball anymore for him to make those 50-50 catches where he used to come up with that he's not really coming up with.
Yeah,
it's not always 50-50. It's just you trusting in certain players who are playmakers to make that play. A lot of people don't get open like that. There's few receivers that's like route separation. It's just playmaker or not.
So you have playmakers. All of your receivers are 3 or 4 star guys. You're playing 1 to 3 star guys at NC State, largely. You have a 6'4" freshman in Joshua Moore, probably being covered by a guy who's not 6'4", makes a play. That's when he got landed on that one play. He makes a play.
Yeah.
Let these guys make plays. Like, that's their job. You're paying them. You're actually paying them.
You're paying them.
Let them earn their money.
Paying them.
Let them earn their freaking money. That's what drives me bananas. It's like, let them earn their money. That you're paying them to
You're
play.
paying them. It's changed. You're
But
paying them.
instead, you'd rather tell me that the defenses that you played dictated what you did. No, you still have to throw the ball down the field. If you don't throw it down the field, you're daring them. Like they're gonna say, okay, you're not gonna do it, then we're not gonna cover it. But we're gonna let you dink and dunk and whatever the hell. And he also said this. I'm gonna ask you this question as a player. He says, we didn't change anything. We just changed our motions on plays.
So you changed something.
You watch film. So if I'm watching film and you're in this formation and this guy goes in motion, okay, that's one look. But if the next week you run the same play, but this time you have this guy go in motion like this, that's a different play.
That's a different fucking play.
That's a different play.
No, it might,
like that's not.
It might go to the same spot. Same concept, but it's a different play. Like when I'm playing DB, when I study film, I'm looking for similarities. Like that's recognizable to what I saw in film. If I don't see those things, it kind of throws me off. I don't care who you are. There's little cues and this formation alignment. I'm gonna get this and this and that. Now, if you're motioning to it and you're doing, you're switching it up, that's a different play. You can run the same concept, but the play is different because it's not the same. Some of these coaches are so smart that they're dumb. Like they think they're so much fucking smarter than everybody.
Yeah, they do.
And I get it because they're in there fucking 12 hours a day in their damn office. They don't go home. I don't even know how these guys have a wife.
Most of them don't. They get divorced.
They're not fucking them. They're definitely not fucking their wives because they're not there. That's why people ask me about going into coaching. I'm like, man, that you really have to give up your life. Somebody so much sacrifices in your family
during the season for sure.
Man, during the season, they're there, Rudy, from 5:30 a.m.
During the season for sure.
Some of them don't leave 5:30 a.m. Some of them leave at 9:30, 10. Some of them stay the night.
And how bad is it that if they do that and you still came up with that shit on offense for like 4 weeks?
Man.
You came up with that? You were working 14 hours, almost 16 hours a day, and you look like that?
It look a lot different on paper when it come up in your mind, and then when it's actually executed, totally different shit. Like in your mind, you're like,
I got to play for you. I want to see. Do you think this could work? I want to ask you. Do you think this could work? They lined up. You know how they lined up? Because you're at the game. They lined up Pringle here. They got Beck, and then they lined up Elijah Lofton on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to the Malachi Tony stuff, where he talks about Tony and how he has all this ability. We just have to figure out how to get him the ball. I'm like, Malachi Tony got to touch the ball 15 times a game, like at minimum 15 times a game, whether it's a pass, a run, a throw, a kick, a punt return, anything. He has touched the ball 15 times because he's going to make something happen in those 15 touches, period.
5 of them for sure.
If you do what you're supposed to do. I've also said that they should probably put another guy back there with him at punt because they're playing around the punts now. They're kicking away from him, angling a little bit. You can play games with the punt. If you got Keelan Marion on one side and Malachi on the other, you got the ball ain't coming here. It's going over there. I've seen that happen in the NFL, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I mean, it's only so much times you can fool a team that where they're actually. You can
run reverses, and you certainly can run a throwback from Malachi because you can play quarterback.
So when you do that, you do leave yourself susceptible to like fakes and stuff because you're a little light in the box.
You have one guy out. So then the route I propose, again, I'm not paid $2 million to do this. I don't sit in the office for 15 hours devising offensive schemes. Maybe Malachi Tony on one side, Gerard Pringle on the other, Carson Beck. Run both these guys in wheel routes. What do they do?
Well, you got to have protection also.
Well, you have 5 linemen. Because you got the biggest.
Well,
your pass block is good.
You were 50 pro. That means 4 D linemen come. I don't know.
All right,
that's tough.
You can't block 4 D linemen with 5 offensive
linemen? No, you can't. You can't do it all the time. Well, somebody.
I'm just giving you a play.
I got you. It only takes us one DN.
And you can keep your bitch ass tight end in there, no problem, because you already have the tight end in there. So keep the tight end in there. So you have 6 on 4.
No, it's so you gave me half of the play.
I'm giving you that. I got Malachi Tony going this way on a wheel.
Yeah.
I got Gerard Pringle on a wheel this way, which you can never run with Mark Fletcher because he's too damn slow. Or Marty Brown, they're too slow. And then you got the receivers. Then you got the receivers, I don't know, running some type of crossers or shit, short crossers, make the safeties come up, like not mid crossers, like 1-5, 110. And then, I don't know, that
depends on the
draws.
coverage.
I'm just saying that you end up with Tony and Pringle being covered by either a linebacker or a safety. They're not being covered by a corner.
You're hoping for man.
Of course.
All right. You're hoping for man.
Okay, yes, but would that be a play that you would run? Like, would that not be a way to get your playmakers the ball? Puts them in position.
It's a long developing route with a 50 pro. That's the only thing about 2 people going out like that. I'm just going to be realistic.
Watch teams do this all the time. They run 5 wide and they go out. Miami somehow needs to hold the tight end and a running back in to have max protection.
But usually when it's 5 receivers or 5 people going out, you usually are quicker routes, unless you're just dialing up something special. Hey, I hope we get protection. Hold it off just a little bit. We're going to take a shot on this one. But it's not something that you do consistently.
I'm not talking about consistent. I'm just talking about these are wrinkles that you add into a fucking playbook where this guy says, yeah, we did nothing different. Yeah, you did. You did. And you have different personnel out there who helped it happen. I just think the guy's sitting there, he wants to say, oh, I'm smarter than you. What I said works. And like, bro, Gerard Pringle wasn't playing running back for 8 weeks. It took y'all almost three quarters of the season to figure out that he's your best running back. You needed Mark Fletcher to get hurt to figure it out. This kid's ran for 100 yards. I mean, in his first game starting.
I mean, but
yards.
And I get that, and he might be dynamic in that area. But you know about freshmen, it's pass blocking.
He blocked for he looked good. I watched his pass block. He looked fine.
I mean, but that would usually keep freshmen out from starting and not because they can't play. All these kids are usually talented as fuck. They probably done ran for 2,500 yards in high school, 250 a game. Nobody could stop them. But when you get to that next level and you got somebody, a 6'2", 245 linebacker coming up the A gap, and you got to pick him up, or just reading and knowing where that blitz is coming from.
Can he still block the linebacker low? Or did they change that completely?
No, you can still block the linebacker low as long as he's not engaged.
No, well, yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about you can still cut block.
Yeah,
as a running back.
As far as I know, I don't.
You can't cut block outside, outside.
No. But if you're coming in,
they've changed so many rules. I don't know what the rules are anymore, man. They made this game so
I could be wrong. But
I don't know.
But as far as I know, you can still cut block.
Okay, all right. But yeah, so we'll find out. I mean, the Canes play against. There's a lot of games this weekend, so there's a lot that's gonna happen. This thing could get messy. The Canes still have a chance to make the ACC championship, as crazy as it sounds. And the way it would happen is a lot of stuff has to happen. They need 7 certain wins to happen over the next 2 weeks. Could they happen? Yeah, I think Pittsburgh can go to Georgia Tech and win. I think Georgia Tech's defense is trash. They should have lost that game to BC.
So UM is on Georgia Tech side.
No, they want Pittsburgh to win.
But I mean, they're like on their bracket because the ACC is
no
split
bracket.
Up, right?
No, there's no bracket. That's the problem. There are no divisions anymore.
So it's just the top 2 teams make it.
That's like every conference now. There are no divisions down any of these conferences. They're all just. That's why the scheduling's a mess.
So who else in the ACC? So ACC, Georgia Tech has one less loss. Who else has one loss?
Virginia's probably going to be in more than likely. Virginia, Georgia Tech. Both have 1 loss. And you got SMU, who's got 1. Pittsburgh's got 1. And then Miami with 2. Louisville's done because they got 3. Miami has to beat Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. That would give Pittsburgh 2 losses. Pittsburgh would now be out of the conversation because we have a head-to-head. Well, we're also the highest-ranked team. So based on the tiebreakers, you need Georgia Tech to lose against Pitt. You need SMU to lose against Louisville. And then let me read it. What was sent to me. And it's just like I'm not trying to get too deep into it until next week. Like that shit is just like
you need it.
too much of a damn headache.
You need the shit to die out a little bit.
So
right now, it's just
I think at the end of the day, Miami's going to be in because the outrage nationally from everybody on this Notre Dame deal is going to be nasty if they're both 10-2. Like people, every national pundit's like, this is insane. Like you can't. This Aaron Taylor, who played offensive tackle for Notre Dame, got on CBS Sports yesterday and said, it makes no damn sense, but I love it.
so
he would have Miami ahead of Notre Dame. So let's see here. It would be this guy sends me a whole lot of shit. I have certain people that send me a lot of stuff.
So when would it change for you? Like if Miami lost to Duke and
what do you mean?
Boston College, would that change your two losses was to like Boston College and Duke?
Well, until last week, Duke was literally in the fucking driver's seat to get to the ACC championship if they had won out. I mean, but they're not. So I don't know what does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying if the loss was to like Boston College rather than to SMU and Louisville.
Well, that absolutely makes a difference, but it's not. Like that makes, of course, that makes. If I lost to a 1-10 team and I'm the 1 of the 10 or 2 of the 10, yeah, that makes a difference. Yeah, absolutely, makes a humongous difference. Where is this shit? Dude, people send me that. Where did it go? Yeah, of course it makes a difference, but that's not the case. They lost to a 7-3 team in Louisville and a 6-3 team now. I think they're 7-3 now in SMU. Like makes a difference.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can sit here and tell me that those are worse losses than Notre Dame's, but Miami beat Notre Dame. Like it's like okay, we forgot that part. That part's kind of important because last year that's sure as hell how they made it work. You know. Let's see.
Yeah, week 1.
Okay, Miami reaches the ACC championship if beats Virginia Tech and Pitt, Virginia beats Virginia Tech, Pitt beats Georgia Tech, Duke beats North Carolina, SMU beats Louisville, Cal beats SMU, so the SMU will be at 3. Would have 2 losses. This would create like a gazillion way tiebreaker, but there's also one in which Louisville beats SMU. And we're in as well. Like, see, there's just so many things right now. Let me wait till next week because if Georgia Tech wins this week, the shit's over.
All right, if
Georgia Tech wins on Saturday against Pittsburgh, it's Georgia Tech against Virginia. That's the end of the story because their last game is against Georgia. You know.
Yeah.
So that's the only way for. Yeah, that ends. So I'm not gonna go through all that. You know. Fractions and decimal points and remainders of 3 and crap and math. No, forget it. Pittsburgh wins, we can talk about it. Pittsburgh loses, it's a wrap. You know. But I do think that at the end of the day, Miami does get in the playoff because it'll be really hard they're going to get close enough to Notre Dame. They're going to get within 9-11, 10-11, something like that. And I think at that point, it's gonna be impossible to rank Miami behind Notre Dame. Now, Alabama could lose to Auburn next week in the Iron Bowl. At Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn's giving people headaches. I mean, they are the SEC. They're so good. And Alabama has struggled in almost every game they played. So